Hey everyone, it's Saturday 11th of October, and this week I want to talk about the iBasso D17 and the Yamaha YH-C3000. Also wanted to highlight that we have some awesome weekend sales going for Sennheiser and Weem, so definitely check that out. So we'll start with the D17, and the D17 is a kind of dangerous product for me. And why do I say it's dangerous? This is a tube-driven DAC amp with switchable R2R and PWM DAC modes, and we've mostly been using it in the 1-bit PWM mode. And what it tends to do with the sound is that it tends to tamp down the upper mid-range response, and it tends to spread out the center image of the sound. And as you know, or as you may know, I am a big fan of forward mids. I really like it when the vocal range and the string instrument range is emphasized, so I love brands like Audio-Technica. But I'm always sort of riding that line, and for a lot of headphones, they cross the line from forward upper mid into abrasive upper mid, where that upper mid-range response has too much blare, it's too forward, and I find that irritating. And what I'm finding with the D17 is that it takes a bunch of those headphones where I would normally not like them because the upper mid-range response is too forward, and it makes them enjoyable for me. So I say that this is dangerous for me because it kind of opens the possibility space for a bunch of headphones where I start to think, maybe I could buy that. And so this thing is pretty dangerous for my wallet. And that brings me to the Yamaha, the YH-C3000. So this is a flagship closed-back headphone, and what I like about this headphone is that it's very comfortable. It's very lightweight, it's just over 300 grams, and for a flagship closed-back headphone to weigh that little is actually much rarer than you would think. So super comfortable, love the design. In terms of sound, I'm not such a big fan. So for the Yamaha, the low end is quite nice. I like the texture and the naturalness of the low end on this headphone. But in terms of the upper mid-range response, it is very forward. It's very emphasized, and it sounds quite raw to me. The other thing is that the soundstage on the Yamaha is quite compressed, and maybe it's because these ear cups are quite small, but we're finding that with the Yamaha, the soundstage is almost like that you're listening to a pair of earphones. The image is very much in your head. But the Yamaha with the D17 is actually a pretty good combo. So like I said, the D17 blunts the attack of the upper mid-range response, so it's a little bit more easygoing, and then the center soundstage is sort of spread out a little bit more. So it makes the Yamaha, to me, overall a better listen. Now in terms of my favorite closebacks, I still prefer the Dan Clark Noir X, and incidentally, this headphone also sounds really good on the D17, but the C3000 is probably the most comfortable closeback headphone that I've tried at the higher end, and for me that counts for a lot. Now back on the D17, this isn't necessarily a cure-all. I don't love it with every single headphone. So for instance, with the Austrian Audio Composer, this is a headphone where I already find the mid-range is pretty much bang on for what I prefer. So with the D17, I find it does tend to make the headphone a little bit more laid back, a little bit sleepier, and for me, that's not my favorite thing. But Joseph here has been going on about how much he loves the Composer with the D17. Like, he's been saying that this is his favorite headphone of all time now with the D17. So make of that what you will. As always, come in, have a listen, let us know what you think. This is Lachlan for Minidisc TV, and we'll see you next time.